I am Briar, Warden of the Rosetta, an order of powerful spellweavers that once stood alongside the likes of the Olden and the Seers. Towards the end of the Third Age, the Rosetta suffered heavy casualties at the hand of the Old Ones. When all hope seemed lost, our queen cast a reckless spell that turned the tide of battle, igniting the essence of Devnir to preserve our fading spirits. As the dust settled, our queen woke from her slumber and gathered up the spirits of her people, planting them as seeds as they may become their life anew. But like the queen, they too become trapped within Candlehold as they become one with the essence of Devnir. While my brothers and sisters were seated in friendly pastures, I landed amongst the brambles and thorns at the furthest edge of Candlehold. Despite these inhospitable conditions, I stood strong and resilient, and in time I bloomed into a powerful warden. As I came of age, my power became evident to all, for my grove extended out of Candlehold and connected with the rest of Aria. I alone could break the grip of Devnir's mighty essence and escape into the outside world. Though my brothers and sisters had become content with their slice of paradise, I was filled with the desire to spread my roots far and wide. I would be the first of the Rosetta to set foot outside Candlehold since the time of the ancients, bringing with me the tidings of my people and the start of a brand new adventure.
Today we will be looking at Briar, Warden of Thorns. If you don't know the fundamentals and general game mechanics, I strongly suggest watching the Learn to Play guides from LSS, link will be in the description. Briar was first introduced in the Flesh and Blood set Tales of Aria in September 2021. The Runeblade class can wield equal parts magic and might. Split arcane and melee damage types allow Briar to attack from multiple angles, preying on whatever vulnerabilities the enemy may have. Let's have a look at her hero ability. The first time an attack action card you control deals damage to an opposing hero each turn, create an Embodiment of Earth token. We will have a look at Embodiment shortly. Her second ability is the second time you play a non-attack action each turn, create an Embodiment of Lightning token. Including these two abilities, it also mentions Essence of Earth and Lightning. This means you may have Earth and Lightning cards in your deck. From the Earth we grow, and to the Earth we return, in an endless cycle of renewal that endures all. The Embodiment of Earth is a token that says non-attack action cards you control have +1 defense while defending. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy the Embodiment of Earth. Let's say on your turn your opponent lets one of your attack action hit. This will create an Embodiment of Earth under your control. On their next turn, you can use this token to add +1 defense to a non-attack action card you wish to block with. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy this token. Like a stinging nettle, there is more to Briar's thorns than meets the eye. She draws upon the essence of lightning to strike fast and with shocking intensity. Let's look at her second embodiment, the Embodiment of Lightning. This says, when you play an attack action card, destroy Embodiment of Lightning, and the attack gains go again. This simply means that once you play 2 non-attack action on your turn, you create an Embodiment of Lightning. This is great if you have an attack action card in hand that does not have go again or ways to gain go again. The embodiment will then be destroyed and your attack action now gains go again from the token effect. As you journey with Briar, you will have access to the Runeblade, Earth, Lightning, Elemental, and Generic card pool. To keep this guide as simple as possible, I will mainly focus on cards from the Tales of Aria set, with some exception. Briar's signature weapon is the Rosetta Thorn. This two-handed sword weapon can only be wielded by runeblades such as Briar. It mentions, once per turn action, for 1 resource, attack. Whenever you attack with Rosetta Thorn, if you played an attack action card and a non-attack action card this turn, deal 2 arcane damage to a target hero. Let's say you play a non-attack action and follow this by a attack action with Go Again. The Rosetta Thorn will then come in for 2 arcane damage and 2 physical damage. Do note that if the condition is not met, Rosetta Thorn will only attack for 2 physical damage. Let's have a look at some budget equipment that can be used with this hero. Ether Iron Wave is a common equipment from the Monarch set. It says, Action, destroy Ether Iron Wave, gain 2 resources. Activate this ability only if you have played an attack action card and a non-attack action card this turn. Go again. Briar will play a good mix of both non-attack and attack action, making this very easy to pull off. Additionally, Ether Iron Wave can block once, and being battle-worn, this will not be destroyed. From the Arcane Rising set, Crown of Dichotomy firstly has built-in Arcane Barrier 1. This will be extremely useful against hero that deals arcane damage, such as Wizard, Illusionist, and other Runeblades. Secondly, it says, Action, for 1 resource, destroy Crown of Dichotomy. Put target Runeblade attack action card and target Runeblade non-attack action card from your graveyard on top of your deck, in any order. This can be very useful in certain situations, but be mindful that once you use this action, Crown of Dichotomy will be destroyed, and all other aspects of this equipment will be lost. Lastly, let's look at Sutcliffe's Suede Hides. Not as widely used, but is a decent budget option. But I would really strongly suggest picking up Snapdragon Scalers from Welcome to Raid set as a better common option, as the attack reaction comes at no cost, and most of Briar's attack action will have very little cost, making this option extremely usable. Briar will function quite differently depending on the essence in your deck. Essence of Earth mainly focus on go tall, expensive attack action, and pump actions, whilst Lightning will go wide with low resource cost attack action. A good balance of Earth non-attack actions and Lightning attack actions can be an explosive strategy. Burgeoning, by itself it's simply a 6 attack power in red pitch and 2 defense that costs 2 resources, but it says, if Burgeoning is played from Arsenal, it gains +1 attack power. Not groundbreaking, but cards like this one is useful for its Earth type to fulfill fuse conditions. We will have a look at the fuse mechanic shortly. Weave Earth says, the next Earth or Elemental attack action card you play this turn gains +3 attack power in red. If it's fused, instead it gains +4 attack power. Go again. This is a great card as it's a 0 cost. Just be mindful that it will only pump Earth or Elemental attack action card this turn. Earthlore Surge is similar but costing 2 resources. It will give your next attack action +5 attack power in red, +4 in yellow, and +3 in blue. The main point of difference with this one is that Earthlore Surge can pump any attack action card. Now let's look at some Lightning cards. Lightning Surge. If Lightning Surge is played from Arsenal, it gains Go Again. By itself, it's a 4 attack power in red pitch with 2 defense, at no cost. But if played from Arsenal, it gains Go Again. Electrify. The next time an attack action card hits a hero this turn, it deals 3 damage in red, 2 in yellow, and 1 in blue. If Electrify is played from Arsenal, draw a card. Go again. This non-attack action card can be quite powerful if played before a string of attacks, as it threatens extra damage on any attack action card that hits this turn. It is especially potent if it is played from Arsenal, as it draws you a card as well. Let's now have a look at some Elemental and Elemental Runeblade cards that utilizes the fusion mechanic. Let's look at the Elemental Runeblade attack action Arcanic Shockwave. But first, let's have a look at what fusion means. As an additional cost to play in this instant Arcanic Shockwave, you may reveal a lightning card from your hand. Then it mentions, when you attack with Arcanic Shockwave, if it was fused, deal 1 arcane damage to target hero. This means when you play a card with fusion, you may reveal a card from your hand. In this instance, let's pretend we have the lightning attack action card Lightning Surge from before. We then reveal it, and now Arcanic Shockwave will deal 1 arcane damage in addition to its 4 physical damage. Do note, You can still play this card without fusing. It will simply come in for its physical damage. Next, let's look at Entwined Lightning. This one is an elemental attack action card that says, Lightning Fusion. If Entwined Lightning was fused, it gains Go Again. So it simply allows this card to gain Go Again if it can be fused with a Lightning card. Last example in popular Earth Fusion non-attack action card Bramble Spark. Earth Fusion. The next attack action card you play this turn gains, when you attack with this, deal 1 arcane damage to target hero. If Bramble Spark was fused, the next attack action card you play this turn gains +3 attack power. Go Again. This one fits perfectly in any iteration of Briar as it serves a few purposes. By itself, without any fusion, your next attack action will deal an additional 1 arcane damage. If it's fused, it will not only deal 1 arcane damage, but gain an extra 3 attack power. Last but not least, Briar's weapon greatly benefits of playing 1 non-attack action card and an attack action card. This enables the Rosetta Thorn to come in for 2 arcane and 2 physical damage. Very important to keep in mind here. Some cards will require multiple fusions, such as Blossoming Spellblade, that requires both Earth and Lightning, and others may be one or the other, or even both, like Fulminate. Let's have a look at this one. Fulminate, Earth and or Lightning fusion. If Fulminate was fused with an Earth card, attack action card you control gains +3 attack power this turn. If Fulminate was fused with a Lightning card, attack action cards you control gains Go Again this turn. Go Again. So here you can choose one or the other mode if you can only fuse with either Earth or Lightning, but alternatively, if you're able to reveal a Earth and Lightning card, both effects will take place. Blossoming Spellblade and Fulminate are great cards, but unfortunately I will not cover these in the gameplay, as I'm sure you already noticed, Briar has a very large card pool, and I had to pick and choose the cards that I thought were more relevant. But these cards are still pretty interesting, so I thought I could add them here. Pulse of Candlehold. The legendary action card lets you put up to 2 target Earth, Lightning, and or Elemental action card from your graveyard on top of your deck. What makes this card special is its type. As an Earth Lightning action, this card can be used to fuse Earth and or Lightning. Some cards, called auras, will present powerful bonuses and can be quite impactful if you can manage to keep them in play for several turns. Channel Mount Heroic, one of Briar's most notable cards, says, Go Again. Attack action cards you control have +3 attack power. So this means that each attack action card you play this turn will gain an additional 3 attack power. If you can manage to play a string of attack actions, this can be quite crushing. The second part of this card is important to understand, as this is how we get this aura to stick around for a few turns. Channel Earth. At the beginning of your end phase, put a flow counter on Channel Mount Heroic. Then destroy it unless you put an Earth card from your pitch zone on the bottom of your deck for each flow counter on it. We will cover how this one works when we look at gameplay. All heroes have specific specialization cards that can only be played in their respective hero decks. For Briar, we have Force of Nature. Earth Fusion. Whenever an attack action card you control hits this turn, if its power is greater than its base power, draw a card. If Force of Nature was fused, your next attack this turn gains +1 attack power. Go Again. By itself, it will let you draw a card each time an attack action with greater base power hits. But if you can fuse this one, your next attack action you play will automatically gain +1 attack power, meaning its base power will be greater. Therefore, its condition will be online for the next attack action. If you are considering playing Briar, you will have access to higher quality equipment. There are a few options here, so I will only cover a few. Grasp of the Arknight. The legendary arm piece has been a staple in any Runeblade deck. This can be found in the second set Arcane Rising, and did see a reprint in History Pack 1. Once per turn action, by pitching 2 resources you can create a rune chant token. Do note that this ability will cost an additional resource to activate for each rune chant you already control. It also has a robust unconditional block value of 2, meaning you can block 1 attack or 2, and on a later turn or other chain link, block again for 1, for a total of 3 block damage. Being a battle-worn equipment, Grasp of the Arknight will not be destroyed once all block value has been used. Finally, we have Spellbound Creepers. This incredibly versatile and powerful legendary leg equipment says, once per turn instant, for 1 resource, put a bind counter on Spellbound Creepers. You may play your next non-attack action card this turn as though it were an instant. Activate this ability only if you have attacked or defended with an attack action card this turn. At the beginning of your end phase, destroy Spellbound Creepers unless you have dealt arcane damage equal to or greater than the number of bind counters on Spellbound Creepers. To better understand this card, I will provide examples when we look at gameplay. It also has unconditional block value of 1, but do note, being a blade break equipment, when the combat chain closes, if this defended, Spellbound Creepers will be destroyed. I do have to note that this piece of equipment can be a little complex for beginners, but very rewarding once understood. Just a quick disclaimer before we look at gameplay. Many heroes benefits from using generic legendary equipment, and Briar is no exception, but I'd rather not include these today. Alright, let's look at a few possible hands. For the first example, let's do a simple fusion. Your 4 cards are Lightning Surge Red, Burgeoning Blue, Earthlore Surge Red, and Twine Lightning Red. Let's start by playing the red Earthlore Surge by pitching the blue Burgeoning. We will have 1 resource floating. This will give our next attack action plus 5 attack power. Next, we will play the red Entwine Lightning at no cost. Let's reveal the red Lightning Surge to Lightning Fuse Entwine Lightning. With this fusion, Entwine Lightning gains Go Again. This one will come for a total of 9 attack power and Go Again. With our last resource, we will use the once per turn weapon action to attack with Rosetta Thorn. Since you played a non-attack and an attack action card this turn, Rosetta Thorn will deal 2 arcane damage and 2 physical damage. Now we do have a card in hand still, but no remaining action points. We will place Lightning Surge in Arsenal since it also benefits from being played from Arsenal. For the second example, we'll continue from our last turn with our red Lightning Surge in Arsenal. Let's now utilize some of our equipment. Your 4 cards are Electrify Blue, Weave Earth Red, Arcanic Shockwave Red, and a new card we haven't looked at yet, Rites of Lightning Red. Firstly, let's play red Weave Earth at no cost. Then play red Arcanic Shockwave at no cost, revealing the blue Electrify for the Lightning Fuse. Arcanic Shockwave will now deal 1 arcane damage. Let's pretend here the opponent takes this arcane damage. Also, since this attack action is elemental, and it was Fuse, it will gain plus 4 attack power from Weave Earth coming in for a total of 8 attack power. Now note that this attack action doesn't have Go Again. Since we did play a non-attack action card this turn, as an attack reaction we will pitch the blue Electrify to destroy the Sutcliffe Suede Hides, and Arcanic Shockwave will gain Go Again. Let's now play the red Lightning Surge from Arsenal. This one gains Go Again since it was played from Arsenal. Next, let's play the new card Red Rites of Lightning with one of our floating resources. This one would deal 1 arcane damage if it was fused, but unfortunately we can't fuse this card right now. But since we have dealt arcane damage this turn, Rites of Lightning gains Go Again. Since we played a non-attack and an attack action this turn, let's destroy the Ether Ironweave to gain 2 resources. We now have 3 floating resources. With 2 of these resources, let's create a rune chant from the Grasp of the Arknight. With our last resource, we will use the Rosetta Thorn. Firstly, when you play an attack action card, or attack with a weapon, destroy the rune chant and deal 1 arcane damage to target opposing hero, and the Rosetta Thorn will deal 2 arcane damage and 2 physical damage. It is extremely important to note that this arcane damage is not stacking to 3. The arcane damage from the rune chant is a separate instance of damage that needs to be dealt with separately. For our third example, we will look at Channel Mal Heroic from Arsenal and utilizing Spellbound Creepers. Let's pretend we had to block with 1 card last turn. Then we would have 3 cards in hand. Your cards are Arcanic Shockwave Blue, Entwine Lightning Red, and Burgeoning Yellow. Firstly, let's play Entwine Lightning. This one can't be fused as we don't hold any lightning cards, meaning it won't get go again. Since we have now declared an attack, let's now use the Spellbound Creepers at instant speed, pitching the yellow Burgeoning and putting a flow counter on Spellbound Creepers. Now you can play a non-attack action as instant speed. This will be the Channel Mal Heroic from Arsenal. Paying 3 resources, let's pitch the blue Arcanic Shockwave with 1 resource floating. Since this action aura is played at instant speed, a few things will happen. Firstly, this gives +3 attack power to all attack actions you control this turn, meaning this will apply to Entwine Lightning. Secondly, Channel Mal Heroic has go again, meaning that we now have an action point back. Entwine Lightning will now come in for 7 attack power. With our last resource, we will use the Rosetta Thorn, coming in for 2 arcane damage and 2 physical damage. Now at the beginning of our end phase, we need to look at our Spellbound Creepers and Channel Mal Heroic. Let's start with the equipment. It says, at the beginning of your end phase, destroy Spellbound Creepers unless you have dealt arcane damage equal or greater than the number of bind counters on Spellbound Creepers. So currently we have 1 flow counter on the leg piece. We did deal a total of 2 arcane damage this turn with the Rosetta Thorn, but let's pretend that our opponent decided to prevent the 2 arcane damage. This means we did not satisfy the condition and must destroy the Spellbound Creepers. Next, we need to put a flow counter on Channel Mal Heroic. Then it mentions, destroy it unless you put an Earth card from your pitch zone on the bottom of your deck for each flow counter on it. Currently, we have 1 flow counter on Channel Mal Heroic. Looking at our pitch zone, we did pitch a yellow Burgeoning. We will then place this card at the bottom of our deck to satisfy the Channel Mal Heroic criteria, meaning we get to keep this aura on the board. Last time we will look at Force of Nature. Your cards are Bramble Spark Red, Force of Nature, Lightning Surge Red, and Weave Earth Blue. Firstly, let's play Force of Nature at no cost. And fuse with Weave Earth, meaning that now our next attack will have greater base power and threatens a card to be drawn if your opponent doesn't block this. Then let's play the Red Lightning Surge. This will come in for a total of 5 attack power. Let's pretend that our opponent doesn't block all of this damage. This means the Force of Nature effect triggers. Since we did play a non-attack action card this turn, as an attack reaction, we will pitch the blue Weave Earth to destroy Sutcliffe Suede Hides, and Lightning Surge will gain go again. You then draw a card from your Force of Nature trigger. Let's say this is a red Burgeoning. Let's now play the Bramble Spark, fusing this with the Burgeoning we just got. This will give our next attack action +3 attack power, meaning Force of Nature threatens a card draw once again. Since we've now played 2 non-attack actions this turn, we then create an embodiment of lightning. With our 2 floating resources, let's play our red Burgeoning. This will now destroy the embodiment of lightning and give Burgeoning go again. Now we will be dealing 1 arcane from the Bramble Spark and 9 attack power. Let's now pretend that the opposing hero blocks all of this physical attack. We will then not draw a card from this. Let's now destroy our Ether Ironweave to gain 2 resources. And lastly, come in with the Rosetta Thorn with 2 arcane damage and 2 physical damage. To conclude, if you like the challenges of sequencing cards in the right order to maximize explosive turns, Briar might be a good pick for you. She is extremely difficult to race, especially due to her dual damage type capabilities. This was Jackie for the Fab Workshop. See you next time, and thanks for watching.